Hey, hello, hi, welcome to Stupidity. My name is Parker Jones.
My name is Evan Goff, and welcome to the American Gaffers. How you doing, Parker?
So good. It's almost the new year, new
Yeah,
decade, living life, loving life.
yeah, man, yeah, man. Almost 2020.
Yeah, I know. Big year 2020. Maybe I'll get
Speaking of
maybe I'll get
2020,
good vision. Like
you're so
2020
you're so
vision.
funny. You're so funny.
All right, shut the fuck up and let's go.
Speaking of 2020, Parker and I got our top 11 of the decade. So we're gonna
Yeah.
start out with goalkeeper. Parker.
So this is our combined team of the decade. We saw it going
Mm,
around, saw on social media. Pretty good ideas. Saw some great teams, but this is what we think are the best players in their prime, playing the Premier League the last 10 years. And starting us off, we have David De Gea
hmm
in goal. Just prime goalkeeper. Really good hands, great feet work, and I think he got his prowess through some of the just spectacular goals that
Yeah.
he's saved, or some spectacular saves that he's had over the past few years. It's just some of the stuff he's done with his body has been outrageous.
Oh, by far, by far.
Hmm.
And obviously, he's on Man U, but I'm not a fan of Man U, but I'm a fan of David De Gea. He is so fun to watch. He always steps up for the big occasions. Recently, he hasn't been great, but that doesn't stop him from making our list. So David De Gea is our goalkeeper.
Yes, sir. And at right back, we got Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He's starting for the England national team in Liverpool. He is. We talked about him in a previous episode, but he is pacey. He is one of the best wingbacks, fullbacks in the Premier League in the world. He actually is valued at 110 million, which is more expensive than Virgil van Dijk. I don't know if you knew that, Parker.
I
So
did not.
he is one of the most talented and one of the most expensive players in the Prem in the world. So he is so crucial for Liverpool and their success, especially this year.
As he should. The stats speak for himself. He's probably the best attacking defender in the world.
hmm
That's just all there is to it.
And he's so young too. So I'm really excited to see his full
Speaking
potential.
of, oh yeah, definitely. Speaking of though, we have his partner, center back Virgil van Dijk, right there next to him.
hmm Currently the best center back in the world because he came second place in the Ballon d'Or.
Mm-hmm.
He is a tank. This guy, I saw
Yeah,
something recently, I think yesterday, about Adama Traore and how he's a bulky guy and how he can get past any defender. And I saw a video like, yeah, well, everyone except Virgil van Dijk, and he just hosses him off the field.
yeah.
I mean, Van Dijk is so good.
I mean, his size, his speed is incredible for his size,
Yeah.
and his ferocity and his
Mm,
level-headedness. Like his body plays physically really well. He plays like he's super ferocious, but he always looks so calm, collected, and knows where he needs to be and what his next pass needs to be. He's always looking to make a play out of the back, and that's just something that you can't really find out of a whole lot of
exactly.
defenders, like the physical prowess and also the mental toughness and the mental capability that you need to make plays and make the right passes, crucial passes.
Yeah. I mean, I believe Liverpool bought Virgil van Dijk for around 75 million. And that I would pay 75 million for that defender. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
So he's
pocket
phenomenal.
change.
Pocket change. The next one we got is another center back. He is retired at the moment and he's helping to coach to manage at Aston Villa. His name is John Terry. Now, when we were making this list, Parker was kind of making fun of me, like, "Oh wow, you added all of these Chelsea boys, huh?" But John Terry is a great captain, leader, legend. But he's a great player too. He won the PFA Player of the Year once. He's a great defender, and he went to Aston Villa for a year. But before that, he was so crucial to Chelsea's success. especially when winning the Champions League and the Premier League. So
Hmm.
he had to make our list, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah. He's great player. Miss him. I think Chelsea definitely misses him. He
Hmm.
was a really important captain, leader in the locker room, and had a lot of. Well, he was one of the biggest reasons I think they had done so well this decade and the previous decade. He just
Hmm.
was a great defender through and through. A leader and really helped them succeed.
Yeah, and although he missed the winning penalty against Man United in the Champions League one year, they came back and won it. So it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. Next, we got Leighton Baines over at left back. Leighton Baines, he's been in the Prem for a while now at Everton, and he's just so smooth. He used to be a lot faster. Now he's kind of slowed down, become kind of a set piece specialist. But
Hmm.
he was a tank back in the day, and he was on a lot of people's lists. He was left off to a lot of people's lists. But Leighton Baines could body people off the ball. He had a lot of pace, and he had a lot of great
Hmm.
assists. Great, he was great at crossing the ball. One of the best of the decade for sure. He just always could get the ball at his feet and plant it within the 6 yard box and have it perfectly placed right outside of the goalkeeper's
Hmm.
hands so that his teammates could get it. I mean, he just always found the right people in the box.
Yeah, I mean, he made 340 appearances for Everton from 2007 until 2019 still. 340 appearances. So, I mean, this guy is crucial to Everton's squad.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
oh yeah, huge leader too. All right, let's move to the midfield.
Next, we got N'Golo Kante. He won the Premier League twice. He won with Leicester, and then the next year he won with Chelsea. This guy is this guy's so fun to watch. He's just this small guy just running around the field, tackling big guys, small guys, slow guys, fast guys. He's just always there, and his stamina is unreal. He's
Yeah,
so
the
crucial
dude
to
is an
Chelsea's side right now,
he is
and he's
literally
linked
an
to win.
engine.
He is. He doesn't stop
He
running.
he has no off switch. He just is go 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 go. He is Mr. Energy. I'm excited to see how he's going to change his play when he can't,
Hmm.
run everywhere all over the pitch all the time and he has to maybe play a little bit smarter, but I mean he still is just a freaking go-getter. He sees the ball, he gets the ball. It's very simple.
Yeah,
See ball, win ball.
he's always there. He's always just in every play. It
Oh
seems
yeah.
like.
Yeah, definitely one of the best defensive midfielders of this generation.
Hmm. Next midfield, who you got?
Kevin De Bruyne, currently, in my opinion, the best attacking midfielder in the world, and he's
I
just
can
been
agree with that. Yeah.
class. He's just been class this entire decade since he's been playing. Once he came back to Man City, I mean, the dude has just been an elite force in the midfield. He has a really high work rate. He works really hard to get the ball back and win it for his team, and he
God,
just
his
makes
passing, dude.
the
Holy,
sexiest passes. Oh
good
my god.
lord.
I'm erect thinking about them. He just the dude can squeeze the ball between five players and have
Hmm.
it perfectly weighted right to whoever it is making the run, whether it's Sterling, Jesus, Aguero, whoever. He has the perfect weight, the perfect pass all the time, and he also scores bangers. Like,
Yeah.
can we just respect the bangers? Like he is
Now, go ahead.
go for it.
Now, I was going to say now, and you can tell when he's ready to get subbed off on the pitch because his face, you can tell by his face and how red it is. So when Pep looks at him, he's like, oh, yep, his face looks like a tomato. He's time to come off.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I saw that Pep had that. He's like, oh yeah, he's super easy to manage. When he turns bright red, a certain shade of red, I know it's time for him to get off.
It's hilarious.
The beauty of being Belgian and white. Love white people. Thank you, white
Indeed.
people.
All right, who we
Next on
got
the
next,
list.
Parker?
Oh, next on the list, we have David Silva.
Another Man City player.
Another Man City player. Man City has Man City and Chelsea, to be fair, have kind of ruled this decade.
Yeah, dominated.
Um, but David Silva, he definitely deserves to be on this list because his prowess in the midfield, even though he's a little bit older now, throughout the decade
Hmm.
has been phenomenal. I mean, he has the same ideology as De Bruyne, right?
Yeah.
His footwork is a little bit more impressive. He's a little bit more skillful, but his passes,
Hmm.
he's always passing in the right to the right person at the right time. He sees very well. He's got great vision, great footwork. He can take on defenders, get himself in the right position to make the crucial pass, and then he makes the crucial pass. So he's a
Yeah.
really complete attacking midfielder, and he's definitely one of the reasons Man City have won so many championships this decade.
Oh, by far. And De Bruyne and
Mm-hmm.
him work so well together. I was going to ask, do you
Mm-hmm.
think he's going to leave soon? Do you think he's going to leave Man City soon?
Maybe. I mean, he hasn't been getting as much playing time as he has in the
Hmm.
past. The reason is, though, he's starting to get older. He may want to go
Yeah, Man
somewhere
City have
where,
options. Yeah.
yeah, he may want to go somewhere where he can, still play pretty much every game, but not play as difficult of games and maybe not, have so much pressure on the team because when you're Man City right now and you have such a great team, there is a lot of pressure and maybe he's not looking for that. It's possible. Don't really know for sure, but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see in the off season.
Our next player is a striker. Our last three. So we got Sergio Aguero.
Yeah.
This guy is such a clinical striker for Man City. Well, we've had
Mm-hmm.
what, three Man City players in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I always think about the one title where they won in the last second, where Aguero scored to win them the league. I mean, that's just an amazing video to watch because I mean, you have Gabriel Jesus, but Aguero is just so important for this Man City side, and he can score bangers. He can dribble up and down the field. I mean, he's always there, and he's always there when Man City need him to score. Like he scores those
Mm-hmm.
goals.
Yeah, I mean he's multi Golden Boot winner this
Yeah.
decade. He scored crap ton of goals. I think the most goals he scored in a season was 26 in the Premier League. That's pretty
Hmm.
damn good. Pretty
Hmm.
damn good if you ask me. I mean, he's smaller. He's not your traditional looking striker, but he just has this. He just has this. Drive
Yeah.
this kind of like Conte where he just has this like sense of where the ball is going to be. He just always is in the right place at the right time and
Yeah.
for a
He's so
striker.
intelligent.
Yeah, he is very intelligent and for a striker, that's probably one of the most important things, being in the right place at the right time. And he's a clinical finisher. He finishes.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it and he's shown time and time again that he can do it and that he's one of the best strikers in the league.
Definitely, no doubt. Our next player, after looking at this list, is the only player that is currently in our list that is not in the Premier League currently.
Oh,
So
true.
it is Eden Hazard. He made our list. He is obviously at Real Madrid right now, but he was previously at Chelsea, which is why he's on this list. He is world class Belgian. I mean, this guy is so fun to watch. He's so good on the ball, 5-star skills. He can dribble past the whole team. He can go and shoot upper 90 goals. But I mean, more recently, he won us the Europa League. He scored twice in that game this past year. He has won us a couple Premier Leagues. So he is a guy who you can count on. And Chelsea, when he left, we were worried about him leaving. And it's a blessing in I don't think it's a blessing in disguise. However, I think we still do miss him just because he is such a crucial player for our team. But we have to work on life without Hazard, and that's what we're doing. But he's such a good player.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely miss him. How could you not? He's a world
Yeah.
class player. He is a playmaker through and through.
Hmm.
I don't think there's anyone in the league that could take on a defender one on one or any player one on one as well as Hazard. I don't think anyone has the same type of spark that he had, the same type of acceleration that he had with the ball under his feet. I mean, he's just one of the best dribblers of all time. Honestly, he is
Hmm.
so good at dribbling. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. So who we got last, Parker?
Last and certainly not least is my boy, Mr. Harry Kane.
He scores
He
what he
scores
wants.
when he wants. He scores when he wants. what can I say about Harry Kane that you guys don't know? Harry Kane is just one of the best producing strikers of this decade for sure. Uh, he's been Golden Boot winner. He's led Tottenham the past 5 years to a Champions League football. He's led himself to a captaincy at Tottenham. I mean, he's just a striker that you want in any situation. He's great with hold up play. He's great
Hmm.
on the ball. He's got surprisingly quick feet for his size. He's clinical around goal. He's almost ambidextrous. He's got a really strong left foot as much as he does his right foot. I mean, he's a natural leader. What could you not want out of this guy? He's fantastic.
God, if you're a defender and you're playing against Harry Kane and he's in the box on a header, or if they're on a break, you're screwed. Like you're screwed, and like they're going to get the ball to Harry Kane, and he is going to score worldy. That's just the end of it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much right. That's it. That's the end of it.
So that's our team of the decade.
Oh
Obviously, if you're
yeah.
listening in, if you think that we're stupid and we don't know what we're talking about, please tell us.
Yeah, but yeah, but Evan, don't
Yeah, yeah,
Evan,
yeah.
listen to this. We're not stupid, and
Oh yeah.
we know what we're talking about. And
Right, 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 right.
also, if you think that we're wrong, I hate you. I hate you just a little bit.
Just a wee
But
bit.
I still would like to hear your opinion because civil discourse. I'd love to hear it.
Very true.
Okay, next up. Next up, we're going to talk. We're just going to take a little quick break. We're going to mention our Patreon. We would love your guys' support. We finally have started to get some patrons. We got our first
Yeah.
one, and we got our first roast to read on air, which is going to be really exciting. We're going to read that here in just a second. But yeah, definitely make sure that you guys are, if you're listening and you're continuing to like our content, feel free to donate to the cause to help keep this thing running. All right, I haven't read these, so this roast,
Oh, I'm really
so this
excited.
is going to be really fun. All right, so here we go. Two gaffers, more like two virgins. Okay.
Got him.
Hurtful. Hurtful. I mean, is my voice too high? I'm a little
We're gonna edit our
self-conscious.
name after this, so
Okay. Parker didn't realize he was overweight until college because his scale in high school was British and set to kilograms. Okay. All right, listen. I don't know. I don't even know what kilograms are, so maybe that's the joke, okay? Maybe that's the joke. Cool. Thanks. Effin is living proof that it is possible to be both skinny and fat at the same time.
hey, it's a certain lifestyle. Fuck off.
Hey, yeah, it's beer. It's
It's
just
beer, dude. I gotta lay off the
it's
bush.
you gotta choose beer or not, right? So it's okay.
Exactly.
Parker wears socks with his sandals. Yeah,
Damn, that's the worst of
and
them all.
and what's it to you, bud? I'm the guy who's rocking socks and sandals out in the mall. Catch me outside. How about
Rocking them,
that?
debatable.
Rocking my socks and sandals. My sandocks. My
Don't hurt
sandocks.
yourself.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for making fun of us, guys. Love it a lot. That was really good. If you want to roast us on air, just send us in a roast and donate on Patreon and be one of our
Yeah,
patrons.
definitely. Transitioning into social media, if you haven't already, make sure to follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Parker tweets hot fire.
Hot
So
fire.
make sure you do that. That's where you'll find a lot of updates about our episodes, and especially if you want to become engaged with us.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Please
basically
do.
it.
And of course, as always, word of mouth. Please help share the word. We're doing this because we love it and we want to share with as many people as we can who also love it. So if you love it or like it just a little bit,
Tell
tell
someone else.
someone else that you think would also like it or love it just a little bit.
Perfect. So let's get into our next segment, our main segment. Today we're going to be talking about the Wolverhampton Wanderers, the Wolves for short, and basically
Mhm.
how they came to be currently. Because right now they're a good team to watch. They're I mean, I'm loving them. They're a good team, but looking back at their history, they were shit. They were not good.
Yeah. What tell us a little bit about what's been going on before, or what went on before
Yeah,
they came to the Premier League as of last year.
definitely. So I'm gonna give you a little quick history lesson. So historically,
Learn me some history.
all right, listen up, boy. Ready? So the Wolves, they historically they were consistently getting promoted and relegated, and they also struggled financially. In the 80s, they actually declared bankruptcy twice, not once, but twice.
Damn.
And jumping into the 21st century, they got promoted to the Premier League in 2003 and in 2009. Now, in the '03 season, they were relegated and they got 20th place. They got the worst place possible in the Premier League with only 33 points. That's awful. In
Mm.
2009, they finished 15th in their 11-12 season. However, that wasn't as bad as 2003, but it actually got worse after that. Can you believe that? So in the let's see, they finished 23rd in the championship, and then they got relegated. So they got relegated
Dang.
two consecutive times from the Premier League and then from the championship.
Yeah,
Now they
and
slowly started climbing back up because they did have some talent. And in the 15, they climbed back up in the 15-16 season, and they got bought for a 30 million deal from Fuzon, which is a Chinese company bought by Wolves. And their
mhm.
owners' net worth was around $60 billion. So 15 and 16
Dang.
season was when the Wolves changed. Now, George Menz, he was a super agent and he took charge. He brought in the current manager, which is Nuno Espirito Santo. He didn't have the manager didn't have the best managerial experience. The only reason why he kind of signed him was because uh, Nuno was George's first client. So that's kind of a
Mm.
interesting fact. And what
Think of
happened
maybe
next
a
was,
quid pro quo situation, like, hey, I'll
yeah,
scratch your back. I'll
yeah, definitely. That's
give you
kind
a
of what
shot.
happened.
What can I lose? Your team
Yeah,
sucks, or my
and it
team
paid
sucks, I
off.
guess. Yeah,
It's paying
yeah.
off.
Hmm.
And I mean, next, what happened? There was just a bunch of crucial signings. They signed Diego Jota on loan
Hmm.
from Atletico. They signed John Rudy, Barry Douglas, Ruben Neves, Willy Bolly on loan as well. And Nuno, the manager, was able to shape this young side and with his attacking tactics.
And Patricio and
Yeah,
Jimenez.
no, I'll get there. Don't you worry. So they
Oh, you're not
stayed.
there. Oh, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Wolves stayed in first place in the championship from October 31st, 2017 until May 6th, 2018 with 99 points, and they obviously won the league. Now, their players were so in form, and they even like bought Jota on a permanent deal, and then they ended up buying João Moutinho, Rui Patricio, Raul Jimenez from Benfica, and they started to climb the ladder. They finished seventh place in the Premier League last year with 57 points, and they clinched a Europa League spot due to Man City winning the FA Cup final. So this is kind of a, when I was researching this, I'm like, wow, I didn't know they were bankrupt twice and they got relegated from the Premier League,
Yeah,
and then
me
the next
neither.
year they got relegated to League One. I mean, that's just what money talks. It comes down to money talks, and you look where they are now.
Yeah, I one didn't know like half of that stuff,
Yeah,
more than half of that stuff. That is crazy to think how important money can be, how important it can be just to change your identity in general.
definitely.
And I mean, if something's not working, you just need to change it up. I mean, you just have to, start from scratch sometimes, and that's a really good example of having
Yeah.
to start from scratch. Hey, you got relegated 2 years in a row. What the
Hmm.
hell happened? Uh, no, so obviously something's not working. So you came in, changed it up, got some players, put a little bit of
Hmm.
investment in, get a little bit of investment out. That's good.
If nobody really knows anything about the Wolves' squad, they majority sign Portuguese players, which I find very interesting, and they are terrific. I think they have around at least six players in the squad, not starting lineup at least, but they have at least six Portuguese players
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because their owner loves them.
Yeah. I mean, they're the last European champions. So,
Hmm. Definitely.
um, yeah,
So
and
what's going on now?
yeah. So from a then and now perspective, now Wolves were promoted last year and they did really well. Matter of fact, they landed seventh in the Premier
Hmm.
League and found a way to uh, go to the Europa League. So they're
Yeah,
participating in European football there since their first promotion back in the Premier League, which is kind of
that's incredible.
crazy. They remind me of kind of like the Leicester squad in 2015 when I
Hmm.
first started really paying attention to soccer, um, and how they play, specifically their tenacity and their will, right? Because football is about talent, but it also is about your mindset and your ability to fight back and your ability to work hard and to give it 110% every single time you step on the pitch. And
Yeah.
I think Wolves are one of those teams. And that's why they're so hard to play against because they do have class players: John Moutinho, Raul Jimenez, Ruben Neves, um, Rui Patricio in goal. They have some class players, but they wouldn't be doing as well if these kind of players weren't working so hard to win, to get the results. They try their best. They go out on the field and they're always attacking the ball. They're always paying attention. They're always sprinting. There's no lollygagging. They're working hard all the time.
Yeah.
And it shows. And it shows. And this year, they're sitting nice and pretty in the Premier League table. So they're sitting seventh again. But the top six teams minus Arsenal are all the top six. So they're
Hmm.
competing uh, at a very high level, and they've beaten some great teams. Had a really hard loss last week to Liverpool based off a
Hmm.
VAR offsides call. Um, but
They only lost by one goal
yeah, it would
with
have been
Liverpool, which is
1-1.
really
They
good.
lost 1-0. They played really well. Their defense showed up. I think that's kind of where they've been lacking a little bit. I think they've been countered a few times, and their defense isn't necessarily as quick as it needs to be. Maybe they can make some new moves in January. But all in all, the Wolves have a great squad. Have had one for the last couple years. They've been doing really well in Europa League. They made it past the group stage. Kudos. Um, they just they play like a family. Like they play like a wolf pack. Like they all are on the same page. They all know their play style and they all know that they're not going to back down against anybody, no matter who it is. Whether it's Liverpool, whether they're playing somebody in Europe, they're not going to back
Hmm.
down. I don't necessarily think they're going to get the farthest in Europe. I don't think that they have the deepest of squads. I
Hmm.
was kind of surprised that they didn't start some of their best players at Liverpool, but I'm thinking that maybe would have been good because of the long Christmas break and how many games that they've been playing and trying to make sure that their stars aren't going to risk injury because playing a full game is taxing on the body, as players will tell
Hmm.
you. So I'm excited to see what they have for the rest of the season. If they could somehow squeak in the top four this season, that should be their goal, and
Huh.
that would be an amazing feat. And I think that Santo, their coach, is phenomenal. He's been a phenomenal coach, and I think that he's getting looks from all over the league and Europe as well
Yeah.
as being a potential replacement for some really big tiered clubs. Because once you prove yourself with a small club, people start to give you a look and say, okay, maybe he's got something special.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I was
so,
just about to talk about that too. I don't.
mhm,
Nuno is a great manager, and he's done a lot since bringing Wolves up and getting them in a Europa League position, and even in seventh place right now. And he's not going to last in Wolves. I mean, a top a top team is going to come talking. They're going to come wanting him, and I think that's going to be crucial for Wolves. It's gonna affect them in a negative way, and I don't know what's going to happen. But right now, I mean, that's in the future, and there's no links yet, but just
mhm.
based on history, and that just happens. So right now, Wolves are flying high, and I'm excited for him. I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, yeah. Nuno Santo has been great. The team is firing on all cylinders. They're in really good form. Raul Jimenez is a rising star.
Yeah.
Not
Adama
just
Traore, dude. Oh my goodness.
Adama Traore from Barca. Yeah, he's a freaking tank.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jamutino, who I highlighted as being one of the most underrated players and being one
Mm-hmm.
of the most crucial players to that team, has been phenomenal. A staple midfielder, really great.
Yeah, João
Um,
Moutinho.
yeah. Um, and Jota has been, of course, class as always.
Yeah.
Doherty has been great on the wing. Has been really crucial. You know, they're hot. They're a good team, and teams all over the league are scared to play Wolves right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's that's pretty much what it comes down to is they're intimidating. People don't
Yeah.
want to play them.
They beat Man
It's
City
starting to
twice
be a
this year.
yeah, two times at home and away at the
Mm-hmm.
Etihad and at home. Malnu
Yeah.
has become a really tough place to play, and I think that it's really hard to get points against Wolves when they're at home. I mean, the fans, they know it. They know they know they have an underdog team, and they know and they support everything that Santo has put together for them. And it's a tough place to play there.
Now I have two
It's firing
questions
on all
for you.
cylinders. Yeah.
So on the 4th, the Wolves play Man U in the FA Cup third round. What do you think is
Yep.
going to happen there?
Well, it depends. You know, how important is this cup to Man United? Are they going to play? Are they going to play
I
younger
think they will
players?
start. I don't think I think they'll start their best players, at least a good rotated side. I don't think they're going to put in youngins. I think that they realize that it's against Wolves, and if they do that, they are going to be knocked out. And because, yes, Man U are on the rise right now, they're playing very well in the last couple games, but Ali's job is still on the line, and Man United fans want silverware. I think that Man U, if they beat Wolves in the FA Cup, I think that'll be a huge thing for that team. Not saying that it's going to be easy because it's Wolves based on what we're talking about, but I think it's going to be a great game if they both play great lineups.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is an amazing draw. I can't believe that was a third round draw.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans are going to be great. I think Wolves will get everything they have. Hopefully, Man United does too. And afterwards, we'll see what happens. It would be great to get some hardware for both. I think
Yeah,
if Wolves could win the FA Cup, hey, that's a pretty darn good year for a mid
I would
table
say
club
so.
outside the top six. And you're playing European football, and you're competing for another European spot
Yeah.
next year. I mean, yeah, I
Speaking
think
of
they're in a really
European
great position.
football, they are going to also face Espanyol in the Spanish
Mm-hmm.
league in the
Mm-hmm.
round of 32. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
can't really spit you out some names in Espanyol, so I'll have to do my research. However, that's who they're facing, so I'm looking forward to seeing how far they can go in this. My prediction is I think the semifinals. That's my prediction. I don't think they're going to get past the semifinals.
You think they're going to go to semis?
I do.
Top
I'm
four
I'm pretty
teams?
confident in this team right now.
They have
As
some
long as they can
pretty.
stay healthy and maybe if they sign one or two good players in January, I think that they can go pretty far.
There are some really great squads here in Europa leagues to the left. I mean, Man U is down there. Roma is down there. Sporting, Celtic, Sevilla is down
Yeah,
there.
Napoli, I think, yeah.
Napoli, of course. Inter, Ajax. Right? They didn't make it to Champions League, so they're down
Yep.
there. Porto. I mean, they've got their work cut out for them if they need to
I
make it all
know.
the way to semis. So, but
It's
I
going to be
think
hard.
if anyone can do it, I think that they could. I think that they could show it. They're not going to back down from any team. That's for damn sure.
Hmm.
That's for damn sure.
Definitely. Well, that's a little history on Wolves.
Yeah, I mean
I
that's the
learned a
rise.
lot researching
That's
this.
that's the rise of Wolves, right? That's
That is
just
the rise.
they're continuing to rise. Investors invest in this Chinese company and help Wolves
Definitely.
be a part of this.
So we were talking about Nuno and seeing where he might go because we're talking about maybe he's a great manager and the top team is going to want him because Wolves, yes, they're doing well right now, but they're not considered a top team in England or even in all of Europe. So going into our next segment, let's talk about what the hell is going on with these managers, right? We've had since September,
Oh,
we've lost a lot of managers, big name
so many,
managers,
so many
big name,
managers.
not just winky dink managers. There have been big, and this is all in the Premier League. So
Mm,
I'll start off with Watford, right? So starting off in September and going currently. So Watford, they fired Xavi Garcia, and then they
hmm
Tottenham fired Pochettino.
I know we're
Arsenal fired
missing.
Emery.
Yeah.
Watford again fired their next manager, Flores.
hmm
Everton fired their manager, Silva. And then West Ham recently fired Manuel Pellegrini. And this has been
Oh,
in a matter of a couple months. And
I know
that's a
it's
lot of teams.
crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know. I've definitely never seen this many firings since
No.
before January. That's for sure. And it's just it's kind of sad, I think,
Yeah.
for football. I don't know. It's very telling of how football is and how competitive the league has become, where you don't even have the time to build and get the results that you
Hmm.
maybe you used to have the time to do, right? I think a lot of managers and coaches in the past, you know, their clubs would give them a year or two to at least build a winning mentality, to build and to try to create something, right? To create
Right.
something from nothing. And I don't think that these
It's
managers have
such a
had
competitive
enough
league that you
time.
don't have time to do that. You have to
You have
win
to come
now,
in
and
and
you
make
have
an
to,
immediate impact.
yeah, yeah. And I
And
mean,
it's not like it's not like that's not well deserved. Like you should like the
right.
club should definitely want that to happen. But I do feel for a lot of these guys. Emery, just couldn't get over the hump. Silva, built a really good squad, still working on the chemistry. You know, they
Hmm.
they have the pieces at Everton. He was just trying to put them together, didn't get the chance. West Ham, same deal. Have the squad, injuries galore throughout
I
the
feel bad
squad.
for the Watford manager, Sanchez Flores, and I mean, he didn't have a lot of
Flores,
time, did he?
he didn't have a lot of time. They were injury prone too. A lot of players at Watford, West Ham, Everton specifically, um, they were all going through uh, injury lists and main players and captains and people that you need on the pitch to make an impact and to keep your momentum and to keep your spirits high,
Hmm.
and they just were riddled with injuries. And it's just sad, because that's the game. But hopefully the teams can bounce back. Hopefully the managers get jobs elsewhere, and I wish the best for everybody. I really do.
Yeah. So I'll
But
just spit the.
it has been a shit show this
It
this
has,
season.
and it's been one right after the other. It seems like every other week a manager is gone.
Yeah, they're
So
like, oh yeah, Tottenham fired. You know what? It's fine. Arsenal, we can fire Emery too. Oh,
right.
Watford fired another guy, second person in the same year, before winter break. You know what? Screw it. We can do it too, says West Ham.
I
We'll
think it's
we'll we'll fire him
contagious.
too.
I think it's
It is.
contagious. I
It's
mean,
just, yeah, they're
you see
clearing house.
one if you're Watford, right? Or if you're a team that's close to Watford in the table and you see them fire the manager, you know, you're assuming that they're going to be better because they've thought about who they're going to fire. They thought about who they're bringing in and
hmm
changing tactics. And you don't want to be left behind. Not saying that everybody has to fire their manager, but if you're not doing well in the league and your manager maybe doesn't have the best relationship with your players or whatever the reason is, it just seems like it's very contagious. And I don't know. There's obviously not a direct reason of why all of these managers are getting fired this particular season, but there's just a lot of factors that go into it. I think it's just so competitive that teams just have to keep up.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I definitely agree, and it's sad, but it's the truth. That's how
Yes,
it works.
yeah. So Watford, they hired Nigel Pearson. Spurs
Yep.
hired Mourinho.
Yep.
Arsenal hired Arteta. Everton hired Ancelotti, and then West Ham currently hired David Moyes. So there's two managers that I want to highlight real quick, and one of them is Watford. And Parker, you were right. Was it an episode or 2 episodes ago? You said watch Watford. They're gonna change, and
Sneak
I
out of
know
relegation. I think they're
they.
sneaking out of relegation for
Yeah,
sure.
they're not bottom of the table anymore. It's Norwich. So Watford, they are 2-1-1 with their new manager. Now you could take that how you like. It's 2-1-1. That's still a winning record, but for Watford, that's huge. That's
That
huge.
was that was double their win. I mean, that was almost triple their wins, right?
Right.
They had one
That's what I'm
win,
saying.
so now they
They
have
beat
three
Man U,
wins.
they beat Villa, and then they tied Sheffield, and then they obviously lost to Liverpool, which everybody
Yeah,
lost to Liverpool.
yeah. I mean, granted, the 2-0 loss to Liverpool, not that bad. You're not sitting bottom of the table now. You got a little bit of momentum.
hmm
You're looking good if you're Watford. You're looking
hmm
really good. I mean, they still have a lot of draws, so those 1 point, as long as they can get some W's stringed up, those 1 point draws are going to come in clutch when trying to
Yeah,
fight for relegation to get out of the
definitely.
relegation zone.
It's real
I think
close.
that they can do it. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, Villa's not looking too good. I'm wondering if they'll fire theirs because they're slipping in the relegation zone as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if Villa doesn't fire their manager, Bournemouth will, because it's just. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just the name of the game right now.
yeah.
That's just what happens.
And then the next one I want to highlight is Mourinho, the chosen one, right? In my opinion, so in all competitions, that includes Champions League, he's 6-1-3.
Hmm.
That's decent, right? He's 5-1-2 in just the Premier League. I don't know if that's great or not. And why I say that, it's their wins are only against West Ham, Bournemouth, Burnley. They did get one against Wolves, but then there's Brighton. They are supposed to get wins from those teams, right? They lost against Man U and Chelsea, and they tied against Norwich, which is just not okay. That's why I think
Hmm.
that it's banging an average right now. I don't think Jose
Yeah.
Mourinho's doing the job justice. Yes, he has a winning record, but that's not. It's a top 4 team. Tottenham is a top 4 team. They cannot, lose to teams like Man United and Chelsea. And I know that's the whole point. Like it's competitive, but when you bring in a new manager and he loses against these 2 top teams, it's like crap. Did I make a wrong decision? Because of course, you're supposed to beat these mid-table teams or bottom, relegation teams. And I don't know if I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if you have any
Yeah.
words because he's your
I
manager.
mean, I'm a little concerned, but not really. Their play style has just changed. They haven't really morphed into it. They're missing Son's energy because of his ban.
hmm
Um, they really lacked some creativity at Chelsea. I mean, that was one of the worst. To be honest, that was one of the worst games that I had seen in a long time.
Yeah.
From Tottenham specifically, but just in general, like it was just a bad overall game from one team.
I think
They
it's
played
more, and I think
so
it's more that
poorly.
Lampard got it right. I think it's more because Lampard
Well, I
learned
think it
from
was a mixture of
Mourinho.
both.
Okay, all right. I mean,
I think that. I
he
mean,
also
yeah, I think
just
that's.
changed the formation on him too. Like we haven't done
Yeah,
that formation before, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think. I mean, I think it was a little bit of both, right? And I
hmm
think that. Yeah, I mean, he could have been outclassed as a manager, cool, but you can make adjustments at halftime, which he did. But that was just a sloppy game, starts and stops, a red card, a terrible mistake, couple of mistakes that led to big chances, sloppy play on defense, sloppy possession.
hmm
There were just a lot of factors that went into it, and it was just a really bad game,
And are
probably
you
one of the
blaming
worst that I'd
Mourinho
seen.
on that, or are you blaming the players?
I don't know if I can blame Mourinho. I think that the execution wasn't there because he was yelling the entire game.
Yeah.
Like he was livid the entire game, as he should have been, because his players were just getting straight out beat, and sometimes you just get straight out beat.
Right.
And I think Mourinho's style is a little bit more pressing and a little bit more. It's less possessive. I think,
hmm
at least at Tot. I don't know. At Man U, he got fired because he got a lot of flack for doing a little bit more possessive football where they were just holding on to the ball, but there was no creativity, no spark, no like urgency, right? And I think in the Premier League you need to have urgency. I think that game he didn't have urgency. I think that his identity though as a coach is to pressure the ball, win the ball, and then transition score, like score in
Yeah, counter.
transition.
Yep.
That's the name of the game. It's how it was at Porto. It's how it was at Chelsea. That's just his identity. And we're kind of going away from that style of football. Liverpool somewhat have it, or at least they had it the last 2 years. Now I don't necessarily think that that's their identity because they are amazing with the ball and without the ball. They have counterattacking and just regular attacking football like down pat. But that's been his bread and butter for his entire career. And I think that if they stick to that, they're going to be in a good place. I think Tottenham have a really strong defense. I think that they have a decently strong midfield play. Not great midfield play, but decent midfield play. I think Harry Winks is promising. I think Musa Sissoko is promising. Christian Eriksen is obviously class but we need a little bit more work rate out of him, I think.
Yeah.
And other than that, they have the players on the wings. Lucas is really quick, can make great runs. Kane, great hold-up player, works hard, really good at seeing the field. And then, of course, Son, who's great at everything. They have all the pieces. They're just trying to figure stuff out with the new manager, find a new identity, work together again, build that team up, and I think they'll be okay, but we'll see.
Did you watch that Chelsea Arsenal game?
I didn't because I was working, but I did see all of the extended highlights on YouTube, and pretty good game. Not gonna lie, pretty exciting stuff.
Now Arsenal looked great,
and I hate both of them.
Arsenal looked great in the first half, and then Frank Lampard came with the change in the change in tactics and formation and taking out players and etc. And they brought Jorginho in, who was hossing it in the midfield, and he just changed the momentum of the game to Chelsea. Now, I don't know if that's...
Managers are important. They are, and pretty it shows much you
how... Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying that, yeah, you're right. I mean, he changed it up. Chelsea got it clicking. Arteta, kind of like fumbled a little bit. They have gotten comfortable. And it shows you they made the right changes. They had the right personnel. They had a game plan. They stuck to it and came back and won. I mean, that's the game, and that's why managers are so valued, because it's so hard to make the right decisions sometimes, to have a game plan, to execute the game plan, to know when to bring someone off the pitch, to know who to put on in replacement, how to change your lineup, how to change your formation mid-game so that you can stop certain things from happening. How do the players adjust? How do they trust each other? That's all built from the manager. Like, that is all managerial.
Yeah.
So... you're right. It goes to show about how important the manager is. And that's why all these guys were fired.
I think he's still good for Arsenal. I think he's going to do a lot of Arsenal, especially bring their fans back together. But,
Hope so.
Yeah, that's
we already talked about that. Yep. And with that, I think that's a great place to end this week's episode. Really? Managers are important, guys. Remember to thank them.
And Wolves are going to win the Europa League.
And Wolves, top 4 team. All right, guys. We will see you next Monday. Hope you have a happy new year. Oh, sorry. See you guys next year.
See you guys next year. That is weird to say, huh?
See you next year.
Definitely. All right, deuces. Thank you all.
Cheers.